Today, I'm making pork steak with gravy. A very easy dish, a little time consuming because you let it cook around 2 hours so this meat is just falling off the bone. My mother always made this growing up, and you will probably find most homes in Louisiana make it a couple of times a month. This is also something that you'll see at Louisiana convenience stores, the ones that have steam tables. You'll find pork steak with gravy, and a lot of times they'll just remove the bone and put it on bread and make pork steak sandwiches, and they're so good. So let's get started on Darlene's table. So I'm starting out, I've got 5 pounds of pork steak. This has bone in it, real cheap, inexpensive cut of meat. Part of it is in hair. The first thing I did was dust it all with your favorite Cajun seasoning, or you could just use salt and pepper. I use Tony Chachere's. And then you're gonna, I find it easiest instead of laying it out to just put the flour in a bowl, put the meat in there, and then all you gotta do is shake it. So let me get my fire going here. All right, so the other ingredients include a little Worcestershire, bay leaves, lots of garlic, lots of onion, thyme. This thyme's gonna go in once I bring the dish to a boil. I have it wrapped up with butcher's twine so that when it's done, all I got to do is pull this string and all of that thyme comes out, and you don't have a lot of stems left in there. Celery, a mix of bell pepper. I did red, yellow, and green, but you can do just one color if you'd like. So let's get started. As I said, I have already, see, I'm just going to shake that off, and we're going to make sure we get this really brown. That's what we want. Don't overdo it. You want it very, very brown. So I'm going to continue doing this until all of this has been browned. Then it'll come out, it'll all come out. Okay, so this is the last 3 pork chops. They're all nicely browned. Well, pork steak, 3 pieces. Now, all right, see how dark this gravy is? It's a dark, nutty brown, but you've got to be careful not to burn it. Onion. I have 3 kinds of bell pepper and celery. We'll start cooking this down. I'm going to turn it down some. I want to be sure and use a wooden paddle. I want to be sure and get any of those little pieces off the bottom. Cook until the onions are translucent and the vegetables are soft. Okay, so this is going to cook my vegetables for 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to stir it about every 5 minutes. And then we'll add the garlic. Lots of good garlic. Okay, let's keep going with this. It's not done. Okay, so look how nice and brown. See how nice and brown that is? That's how you want it. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of garlic. Fresh minced garlic. My husband's very good at this. And I'll cook this about 5 minutes. Then I'll add some seasoning, Worcestershire, and we'll deglaze the bottom with a cup of beer. All right, see you back in 5 minutes. Now I'm going to, you see what it looks like in here? Yeah. Looks nice, dark brown. The vegetables are really cooked. Now I'm going to add some seasoning. This is some more of the Cajun seasoning. I'm going to add Worcestershire and beer. This is optional. You don't have to put beer in it. You could use white wine or you could just use some chicken broth. But we're going to deglaze the bottom and get all that good stuff off the bottom of the pot. That's where the flavor is. All this too. That'll come off as this meat cooks. Now, see, getting all that stuff off the bottom. That's why I'm using this. Use the wooden paddle or spoon or a hard plastic. All right, now I'm going to add the steak back. I'm going to put the bay leaves in. I put in 3. I'm going to put in 1 quart of the unsalted chicken stock. Of course, if you make your own, that's always better. But as much as I cook, I'd be making chicken stock all the time. So I just use, I only make it for special things. Okay. Also, I'm going to put in my bundle of thyme. And that string around it will make it easy for me to pull out all the stems at one time. So back in with the pork. What's going to thicken this up is the crispy stuff from the flour, frying it, is going to slough off as it cooks. And that's what will thicken this up nicely. All right, I'm going to add some more chicken stock. I've got another quart here. We will cook this without the lid. See, with the seasoning. I'm not going to add too much more seasoning because as it thickens up, it's reducing. And I don't want, that's the black pepper. I don't want it to become too salty as it reduces down. I added just a little more. I had a total of 4 teaspoons in here. I probably put 3 of the Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning. So I've used 3. And that's besides seasoning the pork chops as well. You can see, yeah, the meat just falls. See how the meat just comes right off the bone. And that's the way you want it. I mean, this bone is so easy to pull out. I've removed all the bones, so it's time to plate this up. Louisiana pork steak with gravy is a southern classic featuring tender pork steaks and a rich, savory gravy. It does take time to make this recipe, about 3.5 hours, but well worth the effort. It makes a lot and it's so very good. This dish also freezes very well. As I mentioned in the video, you'll find pork steak sandwiches at most steam tables in Louisiana. As you see here, my husband made an open-faced sandwich using Texas toast and it was really good. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button and also consider subscribing to my channel. Remember, you can find all my recipes on darlenestable.com. God bless and thanks as always for watching Darlene's Table.